Good day, everybody. It is Calxiyn here, and if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe for more RWBY content. Become patrons over on Patreon to support the channel and get these videos early. Get all our videos early, and join our Discord server or follow us over on social media, you know, to, like, connect with us.
I also like how we're not we don't specify what social media.
It's everywhere.
You know, like, MySpace, Facebook, Grindr, it could be anything. No one really knows.
Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about Ironwood and Winter dying, which I'm not sure is going to happen, but would be really, really fucked. So here was sort of what we were talking about in our Patreon discussion, which for $20, you can talk with me personally. Anyway, so in that discussion, basically what we sort of talked about was it would be kind of metal as fuck if Ironwood got killed by Watts.
It get metal because he's made of metal. Anyway, continue.
That's not what
So why is it metal that he got killed by Watts?
I don't know. Just because, like, the heroes have not, like, lost anyone in a while. Like, no one's died on the hero side in a long time. You know what I mean? And Ironwood would have a lot of emotional impact. Okay, people don't want him to die. He did the right thing in the end, so his soul is cleansed. It could show that the villains actually, like, you know, Watts doesn't seem all that assuming, but he'll fuck you up, sis. You know, like, that could be a nice...
Like, when that, like, Watts, this whole time,
when he threw his bag away, yeah!
But he was packing heat. I wasn't expecting that.
Exactly. So I feel like that would be really good. I feel like that's a good point. With Winter dying, it's more like, I guess, for, like, the Cinder related plot line, like that Winter will die by Cinder, I guess I should say, or that Cinder will kill Winter. And I feel like there's sort of less to particularly theorize about, because this is just an idea video. Are they gonna die? Will, will RWBY kill off Ironwood? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Because here's what I'm thinking. And so call me crazy, okay? But if Ironwood dies, Clover could be the new headmaster, and then Crow could be like the whatever Winter was supposed to be, like the side piece or whatever. Like, you know, whatever.
Atlas specialist?
Yeah,
that's
Atlas
what she
specialist or whatever.
I think it's a little more formal than like, and you've met my side piece, Winter Schnee.
You know what I mean? Just because Crow used to be a teacher. Right? Yes. He used to be a professor, and so he could take over, like, Ironwood's more headmaster duties if Ironwood is dead, and then Clover can take over more of the military duties.
Could you imagine?
And then Crow would stay behind, right? That's the other good part of this idea, is that Crow would stay behind, and then that also removes another character, because I feel like Crow has outlived his purpose, okay? Like, everyone thought that he would give information on what happened to Summer, and guess the fuck what? He doesn't fucking know. So to me, I love his character, love that for you, but he's kind of useless. You know what I mean? Like, to the main cast. He doesn't give anything for character development anymore for anyone. He's helped RWBY and Yang as much as possible, and he needs to be, like, surgically removed from the plot.
So here's my two things to say about that.
Okay.
One is that, do you think it would be out of character for Crow to be like, see you kids, on your adventure to fight an immortal evil that wants to destroy us all, I'm gonna chill here with a new boyfriend, with, like... You know,
I don't know. Maybe.
With, as Ironwood's parlance, my side piece, Clover. And we're gonna run the, you know,
they have
scarred
Oscar,
remnants of
and
Atlas.
Oscar is Ozpin, right? And they'll be okay. I don't know. It's just, here's my thing, right? I think it would make sense because Atlas needs the help. You know what I mean? And we haven't met any other teachers, right? So if Winter does die, like we're sort of saying, then Crow would sort of, like, what choice does he have? Is he just gonna leave? Like, with everything in shambles, you know what I mean? Like, the alternative is that Winter would sort of be the new, you know, the new Ironwood, and I think that that would be really nice, but I also think that the death flags on her are ridiculous. Like, she has a ridiculous amount of death flags, so that is sort of the other thing. I wouldn't want Winter to die and not Ironwood. I don't know why exactly, but I wouldn't, like, I want Ironwood to die and Winter to live, or, wait, did I say that right? Yeah, Ironwood to die and Winter to live, or Winter and Ironwood to die. Like, I don't want just Winter to die and then Ironwood sits there and drinks his, I don't know, drinks his whiskey or whatever to try and get over it. I don't know. I feel like that's because Ironwood dying serves more for, like, the stakes
we should
and stuff
say
like that. Being killed by Watts.
Being killed by Watts at the end of Volume 7.
Yeah, and it does more for the Volume 8 sort of, like,
yes, that's one thing that I'm like, I think you're pushing too ahead of, like, what Crow will do. I feel like the interesting thing is that if we are staying in Atlas for another volume...
Right.
which, come to think of it, where did you hear that information? Was it a...
it was like an interview or something, like
Okay.
Miles and Carrie were like, yeah, we're writing volume 8, and it's still an Atlas. 2 volumes in Atlas.
Okay.
Like, that was the whole idea.
Okay, because I realized that we've been repeating this for so long, and I didn't know the actual origin of the information.
Don't worry, it's true.
Because I feel like if we're gonna stay in Atlas, there needs to be some kind of change in...
Yeah. And I think the change is all of the refugees from Mantle are going to be up in Atlas, and the rich people are probably not going to appreciate that very well. And the other thing is, I guess, just sort of getting everyone shit together. Like, here's what I think. I think that Watts and Tyrion are this volume, and then Neo and Cinder is next volume. I feel like this volume is going to end and possibly pick right up where we left off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I doubt
kind
that
of
they
like
do...
volume 6.
Yeah, I doubt that they would just do a Cinder and Neo fight this volume. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like there's enough time. If they go for it, like... I don't know.
The end episodes have typically been longer.
That's true, but I feel like it's really going to be the Tyrion versus in that situation, and then the Watt stuff, and then maybe Neo snags the relic, like, while she's, you know, doing her thing, but I feel like that will go right into, like, the Maiden, and, like, Winter versus Cinder, and then whatever happens after that, like, the second half of Volume 8 will be picking up the pieces, and then they'll go to Vacuo. That's sort of how I see things going.
What I would imagine to happen is kind of like what happened with Cinder after Volume 5, where she's beaten by Raven, and you wonder if she's dead or not. I think that the big switch up for Volume 8 will be, you know, I believe that Amity Coliseum is going to crash into Atlas, which crashes down into Mantle. So there's already chaos and destruction. Right. And that Ironwood is assumed dead. Yeah. Because the last time we see him is some, like, unclear ending fight with Watts.
Also...
But he makes, like, a triumphant return at the end of Volume 8 to, like, rally the troops.
Do you think away!
Like, you don't like that?
Just stay dead, Ironwood! Too many people have come back from death, okay?
Penny, Cinder, okay.
Stop it!
I mean, no! 2 people,
okay,
so
leave it alone, sis. Yes, too many. Cinder and Penny, possibly. No, Pinder.
Their ship name, everyone's favorite. Pinder.
I will allow. Cinder, I don't know, sis.
Well,
like,
okay.
I don't know. Anyway, so here's how I sort of see, like, this dipping into the Volume 8 stuff. Is like, Salem still has her flying monkeys, and I feel like if Watts and Tyrion fail, she'll be like, you know what? I guess we gotta go, right?
Fly,
and so
my monkeys,
I feel like
fly.
Volume 8 could also be that, in a sense, like, you know what I mean? But some people have theorized, and I kind of like this, that while Atlas is in chaos, she'll go and hit Vacuo. But at the same time, I feel like it's weird to hit Vacuo when we, as the main cast, is not there.
That would be...
Right?
But that
Unless,
would change
imagine
stuff.
we got a whole season of just Team Coffee and Team Sun. It would change it, though, because then you would already get there and everything's, like, destroyed.
Because before, there's been a bit of, like, a rhythm, like...
Because really, why are you going everywhere that Team RWBY ends up, Salem? Like, really? You know what I mean? Like...
Because that would change the way things are organized. Because before it's been, you know, they show up at Beacon Falls, we see them, they screw around in Beacon during the time. Then there's a travel season, then they show up at I guess, Haven falls, or doesn't fall, we see them machinate, and then a travel season, Volume 6, then... So at least that, when they show up, everything's gone to hell.
I think it would actually be very cool for them to do that. I don't know if they will do that, but, like, my thing is sort of like, why is Salem continuously targeting the places that she knows Team RWBY is? You know what I mean? Let's go to Atlas! Like, they will never get there. They were just in Mistral. Like, you know what I mean? And I know that she wants RWBY, and I know that she wants a relic, and there's a bunch of stuff going on that would make her target, but at the same time, does it not make sense to direct the flying monkeys this way and go hit Vacuo while they're basically unprotected? We don't know anything about the Summer Maiden. The only people that are there are Team Coffee and Team Sun. Hopefully they don't die. But yeah. So to circle back, I guess, to Ironwood, the other reason I like Watts killing him is because I would really like Watts to get what he wants. What villain has gotten what they want in the show?
Cinder, to an extent, wanted to be a maiden.
No, she's not doing very well at her goals right now, okay?
Arguably, she's had a rough
time. She's like 1 for 2, like, okay, like, fine. But I'm saying in terms of, like, the grand scope of things, like, Adam clearly did not get what he wanted, and he shouldn't have, so, like, you know, so that's bad. Roman... dead. Corsic and Finnick, dead. Sienna, dead. Right? So it's one of those things where I'm just like, wouldn't it be nice for someone to succeed? Anyone for the stakes of the plot. Just Watt succeeding makes a lot more sense, because Tyrion really doesn't have a goal, right? Like, Tyrion doesn't have a checklist sort of like, yay, if I kill Ironwood, my plan is succeeded, sort of like things to do. He just is sort of along for the ride, wants to do stuff for Salem, and this is why we're going to be talking about Tyrion killing himself in a different video, because I have an idea for how that's going to end later. But yeah, that's the other reason I sort of like it, just because, like, let Watts just fucking win. Like, he did so much work, and for the most part, it went well. Like, Watts deserves it. He deserves to win.
To, like, keep the stakes going, there needs to be some kind of victory.
Exactly. And I think the villains, like, need a victory, sis. Like,
they have not gotten anything. It can be a little bit of a gray victory, like, you know, the fall of Beacon was a bit of a gray victory, like, obviously Cinder took a beating, and Ozpin really wasn't dead forever, as we assumed initially.
I like the Crow boyfriend idea, because that gets rid of Crow and Clover, while also letting them live happily ever after. If Winter does make it out alive, for her to assume the position of power, because all the headmasters are men, and that bothers me, okay? And I know that it shouldn't, but it does. Because RWBY's supposed to be a gender-equal society. No, she's only headmaster because Ozpin's not there, and Oobleck and Port fucked off, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just left it up to her, because I guess no one else was capable enough, right? And so the fact that
she's most capable.
The fact that Theodore was turned out to be a guy, even though he's probably based on Dorothy, I'm just like,
he was the cowardly lion.
What? No. Theodore is the one at the... Wait a second. Theodore's the one in After the Fall.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm thinking of Lionheart. No, sorry.
Lionheart is,
Yeah.
What was his name?
Leo Lionheart.
Yeah, Leo Lionheart. Theodore is supposed to be Dorothy, and he's the headmaster of Vacuo, and the fact that he's a guy just baffles me, because I'm like, Rooster Teeth, why? You couldn't give us one? Like, just one of them couldn't have been female? Anyway, it doesn't really matter, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, why not? Like, I don't know. Somebody was like, it would be interesting if in the end of all this, RWBY does sort of like a commentary on like patriarchal sort of systems, and how like all the men were terrible leaders. Like, Lionheart was a coward, Ozpin was kind of terrible.
A liar.
Right, and
Ironwood was deeply unconcerned about his public image.
Yeah, until, like, they fixed him, I guess. Like, they fixed him up. And so maybe, like, something with Theodore is the same, but at the same time, I'm like...
What about
feels bad,
Winter potentially
dying? I think that would really do something to Weiss's character arc, because, like, there have been death flags. Winter has had death flags forever, right? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, not forever, but, like, since at least volume, like, 4, volume 5, I think people started to really feel the most feeling of death flags was when people were sort of like Winter's like, I'm not always gonna be there to protect you.
Well, that's a good point, actually. That is a good point.
So I'm assuming that something that could happen is that Winter, like, is protecting the Winter Maiden from Cinder, and Weiss is the only one that knows where Winter is.
I brought this up.
And so Winter decides, I think you said this too, like, Weiss decides to, like, go off and, like, you know, help or something and whatever, and, like, Winter's dead. Oops! Like, you know what I mean? Because I think that, listen, I don't know, it's a tough fight, and we talked about this before, but Winter has...
I have an idea for how it happens.
If Winter has the maiden powers and her semblance, like, her semblance is pretty strong, and then she has maiden powers, whereas Cinder has her semblance, which is not as... you know, like, strong and, like, combative, I guess, to an extent, right? And then she has maiden powers. So they're really sort of...
But she's also fought a maiden before.
They're really sort of equal, though. But Winter has no experience using the maiden powers. So that's where I'm sort of like...
There's also...
You know what I mean? Raven has obviously had experience, but if Winter gets them, like, that same day, like, Freya's dead, we see Winter, like, in, like, the shadow of a doorway, and she has the eye going or whatever.
Yeah, because
like,
that was I mentioned before that Cinder breaks into the room that Freya is kept. She walks up to Freya, and she's cold, she's dead, and she's like, where did the maiden go? And then turns around in the background, you see
like,
Winter with her burning eye, and that's the start of the fight.
Yeah.
There's also our previous ideas about Nora being the maiden. How do you think that would potentially affect
I'm like...
Because, like, what if Winter, like, thinks that Freya is going to turn it into her, but it actually goes to Nora? Then she's in the middle of a room with just her plain old, like, battle ability and semblance against a maiden.
I don't know.
That might not be good.
I mean, that would actually be terrible. Because then, like, how does she prove that she doesn't have it to Cinder? Why would Cinder let her go?
Would she just have to bluff?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a good idea. I think the only thing about that is I don't know if they're going to do that anymore. Because Ironwood is preoccupied.
Yes.
And Winter is preoccupied. And so I'm like, if Nora is related to Freya, like all of us think, when are they gonna bring it up? Who's gonna do that? Unless she's just gonna get the powers and that's how we know, which I think would actually be really cool. And you would explain it after instead of explaining it before. Because if you explain it before, we know what's gonna happen.
What I think
Whereas if they just do it, right? If she just gets the maiden powers and Winter's like,
I think it'll be like
yikes!
one really good cut together scene where we have what we previously mentioned of like Winter being like, I don't have the powers, and then maybe something tragic like people are about to die in Mantle, but then all of a sudden Nora gets her like ability and she's able to save the day, and she saves like, I don't know, like Neon or the Happy Huntresses or Jean or Ren. I think something like, and they're like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
like,
I think that would
be very
really
interesting.
good. And then Winter is stuck with Cinder, and why
And
would Cinder let her live? Right? Like, why?
I
There's
think
no
that might
reason.
not be
Cinder
good.
kind of just likes killing people, and even if she didn't have the powers, it would sort of be like, well.
And then we have this really awkward moment.
And then Winter and Ironwood are both dead, and Clover and Crow get to move into the...
I was thinking more like, well, then you have both Jean and Weiss having a grudge out for the, you know, the killing of Cinder.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that.
So there's there's the topic of eventually who gets to kill Cinder, and maybe it's like it could be Weiss and Jean.
Yeah, together
as friends. Because I'm not gonna lie.
I was gonna say, like, oh my god, the Lancaster, like, imagine.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of ship Lancaster a
is...
little bit now.
What? Really?
Just because, one, I like Jean a lot more than I used to.
This
and
is like totally like date night. Like, you know, like, what's a better date than to go out and kill the person you have a grudge against with your girlfriend? Like, you know, young love, Jean and Weiss. What
young
can I
love,
say?
mutual murder.
Okay, yeah, I kind of ship them too now. So I understand. At the same time, I feel like this is the situation where where someone is going to be like, wow, Cal and Hunter ship Lancaster, the straights are at it again.
Wait, no, I thought Lancaster was Ruby and Jean.
No, Lancaster. Oh, White Knight.
White Knight, yes. White Knight is Jean. Listen, I know these
You
things.
said Lancaster, though.
Did
and
I say
just
Lancaster?
repeated
Okay,
Lancaster.
that's my mistake.
Yeah, sorry. We mean Weiss and Jean.
Yes.
Clerical error. We mean Weiss and Jean.
Because,
anyway.
I didn't think the day would happen.
That would be a really nice sort of other foil, though, because somebody wants me to do a foil on Winter and Cinder, which I think would be a really good video, just because it's like, Winter is sort of like, you know, she was born with natural talent, she was this, she was that, whereas Cinder is this, and Cinder is that, right? And so there's sort of that going on, but then if you include Weiss, that makes things spicy, because she also has the natural ability, but at the same time, she ran away from her father, and ran away from the life that Cinder would probably have coveted if she could be a Schnee type thing.
And so, also maybe that could do some good, like seeing potentially Winter passing away could do some good things to Whitley and Willow's character.
Yeah.
Seeing their daughter pass away in such an instance. Yeah. Maybe we might have some more humanity
like
coming from.
A funeral, like
a funeral would be really.
That would be really fucked, man.
I don't think
I wonder if she would be buried on the ground. Oh no, Full Metal Alchemist, not again. It would be like that, wouldn't it? No, Lust didn't do it. Who did it? It was Gluttony. Who killed Colonel Hughes?
Oh, I think that was the one that could change.
Envy? Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a minute. I'm sorry. Spoilers for Full Metal Alchemist. Anyway.
For an anime that came out almost 12 years ago.
Yeah, so I
think at first I was lukewarm to this idea. I think it would be very interesting. Her dying.
Winter, wake up.
So at the end of the day, Winter dying could be really great for the Schnees, for Jean.
But like I said, I still maintain I don't just want her to die. Kill off Ironwood.
And Ironwood could be interesting.
20.
I like the idea of Ironwood coming back later. I don't know. I'm weird like that.
Anyway, it's fine. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm like...
It would make an interesting Volume 8.
Let him die. Like, let someone rest, okay? You let Roman rest, and I want him to come back so we can all get what we want. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you all later. Bye.